All right, Michael Grimm, thank you so much. Appreciate it. And joining us now, counterterrorism and foreign policy expert and the editor-in-chief at the Foreign Desk, Lisa Daftari. Lisa, great to see you as always. Your reaction to that support by Michael Grimm. We did hear from the Pentagon confirmed that 46 U.S. service members have been injured, including 25 of those who have traumatic brain injuries. So these are no small injuries. And are we getting the real story from this administration?
Yeah, clearly not. And we're not getting it from the media either. If you saw this press conference that we just watched and the ones that we saw previously, it's not mentioned. It's not questioned by the press corps, which I call the Hamas press corps, because how many different times can they ask the same question as to whether or not the Biden administration is making sure Israel is respecting the rules of war and not questioning how we're getting our butts kicked all throughout the Middle East, with this being a part of the larger war. Let's take a step back and talk about this from an aerial point of view. This is the Iran regime's war against two enemies, the United States and Israel. The big Satan, the United States, the little Satan, Israel. They have sworn that these are their enemies for 44 years, since the first day that the Islamic Republic came into power. Now, the Biden administration is doing its best to de-escalate the war in Israel, but also to separate itself from what is going on. Iran's regime is trying to drag the United States into this war. Now, we can make the Middle East, and as you can see from this map, into a parking lot. We put so many resources there. We're trying to deter them, but we have to deter them at the root. The Biden administration for 3 years was whining and dining Iran's regime, going back to the nuclear negotiating table, trying to get a deal out of them, giving them billions of dollars on top of a very lopsided prisoner exchange, removing vital sanctions so that they can earn up to 60 to, $90 billion in oil sales by finding new partners for themselves. We've emboldened them, we've empowered them, and now there is no talk in the narrative about Iran's regime feeding its proxies in the region, doubling down on its assets in Lebanon, in Gaza, in Yemen, in Syria, in Iraq, and all the guns pointed towards where? The United States and our assets in the region, and of course, our ally, Israel.
Lisa, we got about 20 seconds left here, but just from an optics standpoint, seeing Michael's report, that picture graph of all the ships we're sending over, it gets larger and larger. We have the biggest sub in our fleet over there, 38 attacks on U.S. bases on Iraq and Syria. Again, real quick, this seems like a conflict that is heating up.
Absolutely. This is escalating. And regardless of what you're hearing from the podium, the United States will have to find a better way to de-escalate than asking Bibi Netanyahu for tactical or humanitarian pauses. That is not what will de-escalate this. And the more that they try to brush this away, the more Iran's regime is taking advantage of time. Right. It is encouraging Hezbollah in the north, in Lebanon, to attack Israel, to escalate this further. The United States will have no choice but to get involved if they do not stop this now.
All right, very well said, Lisa Daftari. Of course, those pauses simply gives Hamas more time to regroup and then attack again. We appreciate your insight. Thank you so much.
Of course, thank you.